Hey, wake up, you big dummy. Hey.
Oh. Sorry, ladies and gentlemen. I was entertaining myself, which is something the WWE fails to do. Well, what's up, everybody? Jimmy Faluca reporting with Frank. Frank, what's up, man?
James, you're going to wind up on the unemployment line.
I don't think so. Not with the moves I'm making, Frank. Last we left you, I can't remember the last time we had an episode, Frank. How long's it been?
That was the Money in the Bank preview, was it?
Yes, it was. And the impossible has happened. Dean Ambrose is WWE World Heavyweight Champion. Just to give a quick review of Money in the Bank, John Cena did not beat AJ Styles, but let's also be honest, AJ Styles didn't beat John Cena either because the club had to help him out, which we expected.
Yeah,
and,
I guess these days you take what you could get, right?
No, I don't subscribe to that.
At least he didn't AA the whole club and.
No, don't worry. AJ's gonna eat that AA at SummerSlam. Don't worry about that. Dean Ambrose won Money in the Bank in what was a very good Money in the Bank ladder match, and Seth Rollins, 100% clean, defeated Roman Reigns, and then Dean Ambrose cashed in on Seth Rollins.
Yes, and me and you, we disagreed. Well, yeah, he did beat him clean. Seth Rollins did beat Roman Reigns clean.
I mean,
it was protected. It was protected.
I don't look at it as a protected thing because
protected and clean. It was protected, but it was a clean win. As like your
it was a clean win for Seth Rollins for the fact of he didn't break any rules.
Right.
He didn't have anyone interfere on his behalf.
But the protection, the two protection injections of protection were that there was a ref bump where Roman.
It was only for like a second.
I know.
It wasn't that long, and you guys know when it comes to protected victories where they don't belong, I call them out, especially when it comes to the faces of the company that don't do their jobs properly. Seth Rollins won.
Yeah, and then and the other one, of course, was they put the spear through the barricade,
which wasn't against the rules for Seth Rollins.
I know, but that's
out of the way.
But that's
and
why
if you think about it.
When they said that,
none of the announcers were saying, "Oh, if Roman Reigns didn't hit his head."
Yeah, I know. Wasn't they didn't play it up too much, but that, again, when they set up the match, they add that in there because just in case, you know, people.
No, I hear you.
The soccer moms.
We have something else we got to bring up. During that time, we learned Roman Reigns got suspended for violating the wellness policy. Listen, I like the guy. I'm not going to make excuses for him. He broke the rules, and he was suspended for 30 days. Now, Frank, I want to ask you a question. Did the WWE do the right thing by leaving him in the BattleGround main event, which is the Shield three-way?
Yeah, I guess. I don't know. They still didn't say what he got suspended for. Somebody posted something last night that he got. It was Adderall, which is it's basically speed. But I don't know. To tell you the truth, something in my bones keeps telling me it's a work. The suspension is a work.
Well, it certainly didn't. If it was a work, Frank, it didn't work to the effect that they wanted it to because
I don't know.
His name was mentioned in the draft last night. The booing was horrendous.
I know, but in their warped, delusional mind, they figured maybe we get him off TV for a while, for a month, let him come back, and now why do the Road to Redemption storyline? Like, what is that?
It's only gonna.
They think he's gonna come back this Sunday to a big pop when he comes out.
Not going to.
He's gonna get booed even worse. It's over for Roman. It's over. Remember when they said that people didn't hate him, they rejected him? Now they hate him. I think it's gotten to the point people hate him. They don't want to see him. They don't want to see him in that role.
Or if anything, they want to see him get his ass kicked.
Yeah, he's got to get knocked down a few pegs.
Which that makes for a perfect heel.
Yeah, he's got it. I don't care. He doesn't have to be a heel that cheats or whatever, but they got to get rid of him.
No, I think he should be a credible heel. I think he should be a bad guy who talks smack and backs it up, but then you build up the hero to knock him on his ass.
Right. And well, now we'll get to this in a minute. Now him and Rollins got drafted to Raw. So who's going to be the top babyface and who's going to be the top heel on Raw? So that tells you again what's going to happen. But anyway, Roman Reigns, it's not working.
It's just honestly,
Seth Rollins should maybe not at BattleGround, but he should win the belt at SummerSlam.
I think that Dean Ambrose should hang on to that belt for a while. That guy, he's the only guy out of the Shield that hasn't really, until this past Monday, that was a huge win for Dean Ambrose to have that match, the match that he had with Seth Rollins, which was a good match on SmackDown. It was a good match on Raw too.
The Raw match was a little better.
No, I got no problem with that because I enjoyed both matches.
I remember when I've been telling you about listening for clues and stuff, and I talked about this in my one of my videos, how you could just you hear how clues that the
I know the way they talk on the show.
Yeah, like last week,
know what they really think of the talent.
Stephanie and Shane. Stephanie called Dean a moron. She says, "Oh, what is he going to do out there? Talk to a plant? Eat a sandwich?" She goes, "Yeah, pretty much." So that basically they're both agreeing that he's a moron.
I don't really think he meant it like in a serious way. I think he was trying to like mock her. It's like, yeah,
I know. But see, again, why write that into the show? They would never do that to Roman Reigns. They would never write that into Roman Reigns saying, "Oh, that moron," or John Cena, right?
Oh,
and what I've been, what really has been making my blood boil since Dean Ambrose won the championship, right?
Yeah.
Every 5 minutes, what do you hear? Oh my God! Oh my God! What's the WWE universe come to? The nightmares come to.
Well, if you really want to stop and think about it, Frank, when Stone Cold Steve Austin was the champion, Jerry the King Lawler always used to talk like that about Austin.
Yeah, but I don't know. It's every 5 minutes.
He used to do that. I'm just being honest.
I know, but who's the last guy that they kept every 5 minutes saying that to? Daniel Bryan, remember? Oh my God, Michael, the worst nightmares come true. We got a flying goat for a champion. Come on.
Oh, they used to say the same thing. Like I said, I'm not defending WWE. I'm just saying they used to do the same thing with Steve Austin, where on TV, poor Mr. McMahon's got to deal with this foul-mouthed, beer-swilling SOB.
Yeah, but see, but that's
But at the same time, I know what you're saying. They had someone on the other side of the booth talking them up and how great they were. Which
right. It's always that. It's yeah. See, they called it, and then people, like I said, they called Stephanie called Roman an embarrassment one time, or a couple times, the first night after suspension. But then they follow it up with another character, Dean, who's Roman's boo shield and defender. He follows it up by like, "Hey, come on, everybody makes mistakes." You see that? See what I'm saying? It's always protected.
It's never gonna work because the fans, like you said, they went from rejecting him to hating him.
Now it's not a rejection. And no longer just rejecting him. Now it's actually like they don't want to see it.
Even when this guy's been off TV, which you wouldn't know because they do nothing but talk about him.
And every 5 minutes. Again, what they say, he's on the run. When Daniel Bryan was hurt,
they barely mentioned him.
Not a peep. For months went by. Roman Reigns gets hurt last year with his hernia. The guy's on TV every week. He gets suspended. The guy's on TV just
because as much they're paranoid that their hand-chosen guys will be forgotten and not given a shit about.
That and that just shows you that how much they think of him, how important they think of him, and how much they value him. Because now, just like Cena, they've invested so much time and money. This is we're going on almost pretty much close. We're getting to 3 full years of the Roman Reigns push, right?
I know.
When did it started up right at the end of 2013 and it went up to the Royal Rumble of 14. We're in mid 2016. He's a 3-time WWE champion already. How many pay-per-views has he main evented in the last year and a half? A lot. I'd say his face has been on the posters. I'd say 60% of the time. So,
and you want to know what's the terrible thing, Frank? They're doing more harm than good to the guy. And I'm sure there's a part of him that would love to just come out on Raw, look at the audience and say, guess what? Screw you. You don't like me? Guess what? I don't like you. Now I'm going to give you a reason to not like me.
Just look at.
It looks like he has that in him.
Just look at that line. He said that first time. Oh, come on. People still talk about that line. Look how far that line went. Because that was a little bit of the heel. I'm not a good guy. I'm not a bad guy. I'm the guy. That's the cockiness. And you see how that resonated? That made a wave. People talked about that. I don't care what you say. People talked about that promo for a while.
I'll tell you one thing, though, about that line. Gets great heel heat. There's a problem, though. It's not a heel.
Right. Not when they say not when the commentators don't promote him as a heel. And who's barking orders at the commentators? Vince, Kevin Dunn, Triple H, Stephanie, and then 2 weeks later, he does his first Make-A-Wish on Raw. So
in front of everybody, and they booed him
because he's not a good guy. He's not a bad guy.
People could say whatever they want. He's still being portrayed as a babyface.
Oh no, he's the hero. He's the hero who comes in. He spears everybody. He does man punch. That's it. You want to see Vince McMahon talks about the 80s heels passe. Well, this the hero is passe. Nobody wants to see it. It's been passe since the late 90s. That's why Stone Cold
works so well.
But no, Vince has got to have his way. But
my friend Rich from work, shout out to you, Rich, pointed out this way. Vince is just an old man who lives in his little sandbox, wants to play with his toys his way, and he doesn't care that he's doing more harm than good to those toys.
See, and I told you, the difference between Roman and Cena was, Cena has much better mic skills. Not because he could cut the greatest promo, but he could swim in those shark-infested waters on those nights and arenas when he gets no love and he's getting really booed, and he puts on and he puts the mic. And then he almost embraces the
because he's a piece of shit. He doesn't care.
But
if the audience doesn't
I always told you, at least he maneuvers, and that's what made John Cena survive for 10 years. See, that's why Roman isn't going to survive.
Frank. Let's actually call for what it is. What made the John Cena character survive is lack of competition. Because if the WWE had competition like WCW, that could.
I understand. But
do you really think that the John Cena character would have stayed in the fashion that it has? I don't think so.
Yes, I understand, but I'm talking about in reality. He did manage whatever we think about him, whatever people that don't like him. The reality is, he survived for 12 years and counting.
I don't like what the character stands for. That ultimately will always be my gripe.
And I
don't like what the character stands for. What the character to me stands for.
It's hokey. It's hokey.
It's not even the fact that it's hokey. What I think that the John Cena character stands for is this: complacency, not getting with the times, and screw the fans. That's what I think the character stands for.
Yeah. I mean, it does. I know. Now we're going into the Cena.
I don't want to talk about him.
I know, but comparing him to Roman Reigns, who is
he's getting the same. Reigns is getting the same type of push.
Yes, he's not even getting the same reaction. At least Cena, he gets 40-60 reaction. And all the fake Cena haters out there who sing Cena sucks in the beginning of the match, but then right in the front row, right in the hard camera, yay! When he wins. Come on.
Fuck them too.
Yeah, those are the phony Cena haters.
Well, I think we could all agree that the Roman Reigns babyface push isn't working, and this guy is in desperate need of a heel turn.
Right, but so what do you think so far of Dean Ambrose's few-week run with the championship?
Well,
besides every 5 minutes, how they disparage him and say he's a nightmare and an embarrassment.
I love seeing him with the belt. Number one.
Oh, and by the way, he's a moron for talking to a plant-eating sandwich when they wrote that for him to do. When he could be what's his name said.
what's his name? I'm trying to think. Who was it that said it?
He could be Dean Ambrose could be such a cool character, but they make him eat a sandwich and write ridiculous, stupid, corny stuff like talking to a plant in the ring.
I think it was Ryback that said they make you lose, they make you look stupid, and then they want to criticize you for looking stupid, which is the things that they made you do.
Right.
It's so ass backwards. The Dean Ambrose character to me should be more along the lines of a Martin Riggs. That he's a badass, he's fucking crazy,
right?
But he's got those little subtle,
right. Somebody said that was it Jim Cornette? Yeah, I think it was Jim Cornette. He's a goofy crazy, like in sitcoms. You can't take him serious. He's just goofy. That doesn't. He said that doesn't sell. Being like lunatic crazy, where unhinged and unpredictable, that sells. But this Dean Ambrose, that won't sell. That lunatic crazy.
Well, I think that he needs to be that promo that he cut 2 weeks ago on Raw was a great fucking promo.
Well, when he said
the one where he's like, "I don't give a damn if it's you. I don't give a damn if it's Roman Reigns. I don't give a damn if it's Brock Lesnar. I don't give a damn. I've worked my ass off to earn this. These people are behind me." That one promo.
When he said even Vince McMahon is gonna have to pry this belt out of my cold dead hand. That's what he said. That's what he ended. He said even, and that surprised me because up until he started speaking, they were making him look stupid. And then
let me tell you something. That promo he cut.
Yeah, did you notice Seth had his eyes open like, whoa?
Let me tell you something. I say this all the time, and there's another issue that I always love bringing up. If they let these guys actually speak from here,
of course.
James, I mean, could anyone ever tell Dusty Rhodes how to talk like
James,
Dusty Rhodes?
Let's stop beating that horse. It's not going to happen. Maybe they can loosen it up a little bit now with this corporate. They
just need to bullet point things. This is who you're fighting.
They're so scared. They're so scared somebody might say something that won't agree. Or I mean, come on.
And listen, guys aren't stupid. They know how to cut a promo.
How about this? Not everyone should be allowed to have a mic on live TV in the middle of the ring. Not everybody. When did we get to this point where everybody has to talk? In the middle of the ring for 10 minutes.
It wasn't always that way. Undertaker barely used to say a word. Andre the Giant couldn't even fucking speak English properly.
Right. Yeah, I'm saying, when did this happen? Why can't they just record pre-record interviews like they used to do back in the day? Those are some of the greatest promos. Remember, with the big WWF logo in the background, Mean Gene. Those were recorded.
Those were very cool promos.
Yeah, recorded. Not maybe five people in maybe 6 people, 7 people in the history of wrestling could go out there every week in and week out, and talk in the middle of the ring.
That's actually a very good point, Frank. Like, most of those Dusty promos that we enjoyed, they were backstage.
Yeah, but they were in the little studio. They were in the little studio.
Like when he cut that promo, Hard Times, when Ric put him out, that wasn't, in the middle of the ring.
Listen, we're talking about one of the 7 people I just mentioned that could cut a promo every week. And who says that's what they have to do? And there's another point I want to talk about, since we talked about the main guy, and I talked about this in my other video. We've all been conditioned to wait for this Messiah to come and save wrestling, right? The next Messiah is going to come. Who's going to be this guy that's going to change wrestling? I don't think one person or even 2 people.
It's got to be a change in the office.
How about the way you format the show, like we're talking about? Forget even WWE. They're looking for the next Messiah who's going to bridge the gap for the next 5-10 years, who's going to carry the company. How about change up the show? The way you format the show.
Don't make it all about one person. Give the guys a chance to shine. Maybe that Messiah's already there, but
even if they find him, stop relying on him. They're only Hulk Hogan, I could say, from 1984 to 1988 was the one Messiah that if he left and he disappeared, there would be a significant drop in their audience and ratings.
How about that guy?
Maybe for a year, but then they had The Rock. They had The Rock that could have stepped in. They had The Undertaker that could have stepped in. I'm talking about in the history, about that one guy who they would lose a significant number of their audience.
Well, I've said this.
Stop looking. That's what I'm talking about. Trying to fit the square peg, the round block in the square peg of trying to find this Messiah, and he's going to be on TV every day. He's going to open up the show. No. How about change the show? Change the format. No more 20-minute promos from the Authority in the beginning.
All the bricks off of people. Like, here's another thing. From hour 2 to hour 3, they regularly lose over 500,000 viewers.
Why? Because people know what the main event is going to be. And that's it. Once they know the main event, and you know they're not going to do anything really spectacular before the main event. So once they announce the main event, if you're not interested in that main event, at 10 o'clock, you're not watching. Maybe you'll click back for 5 minutes or 2 minutes between 10:50 and 10:55.
And that's it.
During the Attitude Era, it wasn't because during the Attitude Era, every match was great, every segment was great. A lot of stuff on Raw sucked. A lot of stuff was corny. A lot of stuff wasn't good. A lot of the matches weren't good. Not every wrestler.
Storylines that they did give you, the true stories they did give you were enough to hook you.
But they started from 9 o'clock, and they kept building it up. They kept dangling the thing. What's going to happen? What's going to happen? Who's going to happen?
And it wasn't just the main event.
Right. Vince McMahon's going to come out at 10 o'clock for a major announcement. Stone Cold's going to come out and say this. So what's going to happen? And what's going to be the main event? And
here's a good example of it. During the build-up to WrestleMania 14, you had Austin and Shawn Michaels coupled with Mike Tyson, which that did not hurt. It only helped.
That was one of the greatest.
You also had, maybe I'm just being biased, one of the greatest storylines in history. The Undertaker and Kane. That first real big match.
Right. When Kane first debuted. Right.
When Kane for months was smacking The Undertaker around, beating the shit out of him. And when The Undertaker finally said, enough, now I'm going to kick your ass. I remember this Monday Night Raw. It was the week after Tyson joined DX. Kane was in the back. Paul Bearer was with them, cutting a promo with Jerry Lawler, and the lockers were opening up and closing. Then Kane came out to cut a promo. The gong went off. The lights came back on. Taker's standing right behind Kane. The lights went back out, and when they came back on, he was gone. And he was fucking with him all night. And then the week after, Kane grabs Sable because he was looking to choke slammer.
That's when he would choke slam anybody.
Where's Taker? He's standing on top of the freaking Titantron, giving a freaking amazingly ghastly speech. He sends a lightning bolt down and hits the coffin, and there's a fake Kane in there, and it lights on fire. You wanted to watch every week, and that element just isn't there.
Right, to see what happens. The little stories.
You had to see what was going to happen, and even after Taker beat him, wasn't over. Kane brutalized the shit out of him.
There was 2-3 stories
you had to watch
that were running during each.
The last 2 stories WWE had that made me want to see what was going to happen next was the Summer of Punk, and Bryan against the Authority. Yeah. And the reason and why did those 2 stories work? Because you believed it. You believed that the WWE was against CM Punk because they only wanted him to be at a certain level. You believed that the WWE didn't really care for Daniel Bryan and only wanted him to be at a certain level. And holy fucking shit, that ended up turning out to be fact.
Yeah. Right. Like, it was blurring the lines. It was blurring the lines.
I can't believe how many times you tried to tell me, Jimmy, His moment was only supposed to be at SummerSlam, and that was supposed to be it. Sure enough, everything you said was true, Frank.
Yeah, that's it.
Confirmed it. That's what I'm saying. Those stories that hook you, they don't have that many.
Well,
that's a shame because they have the talent that could do it.
Yes,
you can't say WWE's in the low of the ring because of a lack of talent. God knows they have talent.
So now, as we move and we talk about the draft, what have I always said about
a story? What's next?
No, I'm talking about the characters. How the 80 to 90% of the roster is ruined.
You've said that, Frank.
And they are, right? We had our hopes on Cesaro coming back. He got repackaged with the suit,
which was great.
He's got black tape on his shoulder. Now he's got the spandex on his Bruce the Barber spandex on his elbows, and he loses every week. Forget him. He's garbage. All they see him as is a showman with feats of strength. I noticed Monday. What was it, against Jericho Monday? I just noticed it hit me. His moves don't hurt the other wrestler. He does that move where he does the 10 uppercuts back and forth, and nothing happens. The wrestler comes back and
well, that's an issue with a lot of guys because the selling has gone down.
But no, it's not the selling. It's that they tell them that's it. If Cesaro's not a strong character, all he does is the swing. That gets the pop, you know.
And here's something else I'm sick and tired.
I'm talking about that's how they view him, not how he could be. How they view him.
Here's something else I'm tired of. The match he had with Jericho was good. And
4 minutes? 5 minutes?
It was good for what it was. But I'm not going to name this particular individual because I love him and I respect him. But he says no one loses in this match. We won. I'm sitting there saying, really, we won? Seeing a 40-something-year-old Jericho beating a Cesaro who should be kicking the shit out of guys his age? That's bullshit.
The fans won? How?
And then I get told when Bray Wyatt comes out and I say, oh, look, there's the glorified jobber. You know what I get told, Frank? You're so negative. What's your response to that, Frank?
What's the definition of a glorified jobber?
A guy that loses to all the big names.
A jobber to the stars. He jobs to the stars. Isn't that what Bray Wyatt does? He cuts scary promos, just enough to scare the star he's working with, and then he loses on pay-per-view. He never wrestles. Whenever he does wrestle on pay-per-view, he loses. That's a jobber to the stars. That's a glorified jobber. Go look it up. Go Google it. Glorified jobber. That's Bray Wyatt. Has he won any gold?
The last big victory he had was in February of 2014.
When's the last time he's won?
No, that's the last time he won a rivalry.
When's the last time he's won? When's the last time he's wrestled? Exactly. Frank, he's been hurt. No, he's been hurt for a couple of months. He's been hurt. He never wrestles. He wrestles maybe 6 times a year on pay-per-view. And then when you know when the last time he actually was in a big pay-per-view? WrestleMania. And what happened? The Wyatt family, I'm glad they broke them up because the Wyatt family are an absolute fucking joke. And like I said, if you don't believe me, whoever your friend is, we're negative, go watch WrestleMania. It's from this year. You tell me if the Wyatt family is an absolute joke, not just a joke, an absolute joke. That's what they think of them. Eric Rowan, he lost in 6 seconds. He has the record. Does Eric Rowan ever win a match? Have you ever seen Eric Rowan win a single match? Braun Strowman? Who is he?
This is where I will name him. You know what Durst turns around and says? Guys would kill to just have a match with The Undertaker, John Cena, and be in the ring with The Rock. What's your response to that?
Okay. But what else? Is that going to be his career highlight? Having a match with The Undertaker?
And losing?
Having a match. Okay, all right. The Undertaker, that's a different animal. Is that gonna be,
after the streak is broken, to me, there were no excuses.
I'm just saying, let's just give him a pass on the Undertaker. But is that going to be his career highlights? That he lost to John Cena, he lost to the Undertaker, and he lost to who?
He got made to look like a fool at the hands of The Rock.
Oh, and for The Rock to wipe the shit off his shoes on Bray Wyatt and the Wyatt family, John Cena, and they kick him out of the ring like pieces of shit. That was a complete assassination. And how many times have we seen the Wyatts get assassinated?
Too many times.
John Cena, AA's all of them.
After he does a clean job to Brock Lesnar, because Vince had a freaking misfit that his boy actually lost with no excuses.
And then when I told you that was the last nail in Bray Wyatt's coffin was that gauntlet match with Roman Reigns when he had the gauntlet match. Bray Wyatt was the fourth guy in the gauntlet match, and Roman Reigns beat him.
He should have killed him.
Bray Wyatt beat him in 4 minutes. After going through 3 guys, being battered and beaten, he could beat Bray Wyatt in 4 minutes. Like nothing, like this. Like, get out of the ring. Come on. So anyway, talking about that, half the roster is 90% of the roster is damaged goods.
Well, I'm going to go through the names, Frank, and you tell me if they're damaged. I'm going to go through Raw first. Seth Rollins.
He should be the face of WWE, but he's another guy. He's treading water. How many times when we saw him last as champion, he was booked as a chicken shit champion who squeaked by every match on pay-per-view, and now he came back and already look at that. He held the title for 10 seconds.
Yeah, but you want to know what? He looked very strong in his return, winning the title because he won clean.
Okay, I'm saying, but he held the belt for 10 seconds. And then look at this just this week. Why did he have to take the pin Tuesday night? Why did he have to take the pin on SmackDown? Why? Because it was the first episode of SmackDown Live, and Shane and Daniel Bryan celebrated in the ring like idiots.
But I don't understand what
they had to do that, right? They had.
I don't understand what was wrong with him losing to Dean Ambrose.
Would Roman Reigns lose to Dean Ambrose on TV? Would John Cena lose to Roman Reigns on TV in a 10-minute match? No. See that again? That shows you. That just shows you. He doesn't have. Seth Rollins doesn't have the Golden Boy booking.
A look shouldn't really mean anything.
What?
All right. I said a look shouldn't mean anything because if you look at guys like Dusty.
No, I'm not saying look. I'm not talking about look. I'm just saying he doesn't have that Golden Boy booking. I
thought you said Golden Boy look.
No. He has a great look, Seth Rollins. Listen, I just said he should be the face of WWE. Besides AJ Styles, I don't think there's a better in-ring worker. And I think Seth might have better mic skills than AJ. Just a little bit. But
I think let's to each his own. I got no problem with Seth Rollins. Finn Balor.
Well, we will see.
Him.
Though you said earlier before that just the fact that he got drafted high is a good sign. He comes much hyped, right, from NXT. He's gonna get a big pop, and I think because
he's the most over guy that NXT ever had.
But I think he's gonna come out to a big pop, and then they're gonna quickly turn him heel because you could see the writing on the wall. Anderson and Gallows got drafted, so you know they're gonna do the Balor Club because you know they're gonna have to sell shirts, Balor Club shirts.
Turning him heel would be the dumbest thing they could possibly do because he's over.
I know. You watch when he debuts, he's gonna get a crazy pop. He's gonna get.
Wait a minute, Frank. People don't know who he is.
No, people know who he is.
All right, next guy, Roman Reigns. We've already
talked about it. He should get demoted.
I wouldn't say he should get demoted. He should be turned heel.
No, demoted. He should not demoted from his. He shouldn't win every match. He should start losing matches on pay-per-view consistently.
All right. Well, you can't say that this guy's damaged because he's cast iron. Brock Lesnar. He's definitely not the draw that he was, because him being on the WWE program hasn't brought in more viewers.
Well, he had such great momentum, and now he's surrounded in a controversy with his flags.
No.
But I read that he takes those flags are for asthma medicine.
Well, if that's the case, that's the case.
I think so, because they would have already came out and said something.
Of course.
He submitted like numerous tests in the week.
Now, just remember, I'm only going through the guys here right now. I know you don't care for them, the New Day, but they're massively over.
I know, but as wrestlers, and their time, their days are numbered. So I think they're running out of gas. So they'll be split up.
Sami Zayn.
Besides him working with Kevin Owens, I don't think they see much in him. At least not yet. Not what I think. What they think. You can see it.
I'm trying to go through the list and see who you think is damaged, because you said 90% of the roster.
Sami Zayn.
He's only really lost to Kevin Owens.
Yeah. He bet. All right, but he's not damaged, but he better do something soon.
Okay, Chris Jericho's a legend. We don't got to worry about him. Rusev.
No, he now again. They built him up. They're building him up again as a monster. Who breaks your back and humbles you. He fucks you in the ass and humbles you. That's what he does, right? He broke Titus's back, fucked him in his ass, and humbled him.
Has Sheik
and then told his kids about it too.
Has the Sheik taken to Twitter to talk about him using that move?
Oh, probably. Yeah.
Oh, I got to find that out, because Sheiky Baby is very funny.
Jabroni.
Kevin Owens.
Even though Eddie Guerrero's father invented the camel clutch.
Yes.
Kevin Owens. Another guy. I think he has got so much groundswell and momentum. He could be a world champion easily.
Austin has said that dude needs to get the belt eventually.
The guy could do everything.
Absolutely. He's everything you want.
Right now, I'd say he's probably the best on the mic in the whole company.
That's a very fair assessment.
He goes on commentary. He's funny. I know. People have said that he did he copied the CM Punk thing where he said, "I'm the best in the ring and I'm the best here." No. But anyway,
that's nonsense. Okay.
Rusev, Kevin, what?
Enzo and Cass.
Oh, they're definitely over. But I said they have big plans for Big Cass.
I think they should have big plans for both those guys, because both those guys are.
Well, when I talk about the clues, he's a game changer, Michael. He's a young superstar. He's got it all. Enzo Amore, he looks like a bird. See, there you go. See, why you got to diss him like that for? And I know it's just a commentary. It's not.
No, but you're not wrong. You're not wrong.
Listen, they can't wait. They can't. The time can't come fast enough for them to split these two guys. They want Big Cass. I'm telling you, he's 7 feet tall, and you can't teach that. That's what Vince McMahon actually believes. He's got a good look. Big Cass is actually pretty good on the mic, right?
Oh yeah,
he's very good on the mic. He's confident, and he looks pretty decent in the ring. I don't know if he's going to be able to go 15, 20 minutes. We'll see. But there's another signal. Remember that promo he cut? He goes, "Everybody wants Cena's spot. I want it. Enzo wants it." Even though that was
you can see that Big Cass is not one of those guys that's gonna want to fuck over his friend,
right?
Because Big Cass knows that him and Enzo together is what created the momentum they have.
Right. But come on, once the writers come in and Vince. What does Enzo do? What does he do in the tag team? He takes a beating, and then he gives the hot tag to Big Cass. So you could see right away. You could see the writing on the wall. And every week that passes by, the promos are going to get cornier and cornier and cornier because they're going to start writing the promos for them. Right?
No, I'm hoping that doesn't happen. Next is Luke Gallows and Carl Anderson. They've both been pinned by Cena in 4 minutes.
So far, they are damaged. No, they're not damaged because they never did anything. So they've been crushed since the
How the
first.
fuck do you get Carl Anderson and Luke Gallows and make them lose to Cena in 4 minutes on fucking television?
Somebody said that they're gonna be pushed better once they team up with Balor. I don't know.
AJ Styles is a much bigger star than Finn Balor, so I don't understand what the reasoning is behind that.
I don't know.
Big Show, he's a legend. No reason to worry. Neville has a very protected finishing maneuver. No one's kicked out of it.
I say he's damaged, but because he's gotten hurt, people have forgotten about it, and he should be when he comes back. He should come back repackaged and rebooked.
Salvaged. I think he could be salvaged.
He needs to come back rebooked, repackaged. No fucking Harry Potter cape.
I think we could agree on that. Cesaro, we already talked about. I don't even want to get into it. It's so.
James, here's another clue. When does Cesaro get drafted?
Huh?
Here's another clue. When does Cesaro get drafted Monday? How low did he get drafted? Very low, very low, very low. Keep counting. Yes, exactly. And they had that shoot promo where he came out and he was disappointed with. Get the fuck out of here. That's more clues. He got drafted solo. Cesaro, right?
I can't understand it. That they
see nothing
so
in
much
him.
with him.
They see nothing in him. Vince, come on. We should have. We saw the truth on the Stone Cold podcast. Vince caught himself and actually said he doesn't see anything in him. Right? He
I don't know. Seemed to be getting over after he won the Battle Royal.
Only when Stone Cold pressed him, he's like, "Oh, I'm not giving up on him." When Vince McMahon comes on national TV and says you're not connecting.
Really, he was connecting perfectly fine before.
Oh, Vince McMahon says it. He said
because Vince is an idiot.
Whether he's an idiot, that's what he thinks.
And he's an idiot.
I don't know. Maybe he's not the only one who thinks it. Maybe some other bigwig backstage is telling Vince McMahon that Cesaro isn't all that.
Cesaro.
Maybe it's a few of them. Who knows? We don't know.
Wasted talent. There's one thing I heard is wasted talent.
I don't think he's got that. I don't think he's got enough.
He's got the talent. And whoever says otherwise is a fucking idiot. Sheamus.
Garbage. Nobody wants to see him in 2016.
Golden Truth.
Garbage. Everybody. The only guy left is that it could be promising is Darren Young with Bob.
I'm about to get to him. Titus O'Neil.
He got his ass fucked and humbled.
Darren
Young, yeah. I told you I think they could do something with him. He should win the U.S. belt very soon. Right? He's
the Intercontinental Champion.
What?
He's fighting the Intercontinental Champion.
Yeah, but and who's fighting Rusev at BattleGround?
Zack Ryder.
Is Zack Ryder on the SmackDown show?
Yes.
Well, no, who knows? Maybe they'll both they'll win. Maybe they'll win and at BattleGround and switch belts.
That's actually very possible.
The U.S. title will go on
SmackDown and IC will go on Raw.
Yeah,
I really don't mind the Intercontinental title being on SmackDown. I really don't mind.
It doesn't matter, but I think Darren Young. They put a lot of time into him with Bob Backlund, and he since he came back, it's working.
All right, Sin Cara.
Oh, come on,
Zach. But at this point, we already get it. Now let's go to SmackDown. Dean Ambrose. They tried so hard to fuck him over.
He's the champ. I don't think to start with, the titles are going to stay on SmackDown because if you believe that leaked report that there's going to be a WWE SmackDown champion, the blue belt.
Well, I'm not entirely convinced. that they're going to be 2 titles. I'll believe it when I see it. I'm happy Dean Ambrose is champion.
Yeah. Listen, but I think in the end, I think that's a little cookie.
Yeah. AJ Styles.
He should be the face of SmackDown now.
They're preparing him for burial.
Oh my God.
For SummerSlam. I'm telling you, that's exactly what's going to happen. And if he does manage to beat John Cena by himself, I will be shocked.
So what?
Because that'll make, if he doesn't,
it'll be a first.
If he doesn't win, that'll be 3 programs in a row since he's coming to the WWE that he's lost. Jericho, Reigns, and then Cena. Which then brings us to fuckboy Buckethead. We don't even have to talk about him. He's cast.
You know what though? I think since he's come back, I see a little change in his character. He's not taking himself as serious. He's almost trolling himself now. Now he's not trolling the fans. He's trolling himself.
I say fuck him. I look at him and I say, fuck you. You're an insult to my intelligence. You're not a great professional wrestler. You are just lucky to be in the spot that you're in because the WWE has no competition. Because if they did, your boring ass would not be the character you are. He would have dropped the leg on a friend like Hogan did in '96. We would have got heel John Cena.
And of course, he still yells the spots during the match.
Can't even fucking perform properly.
Quiet.
Randy Orton? I don't even. Bray Wyatt.
He'll cut more scary promos on SmackDown. That'll be a good filler. That'll be a good 10-minute filler.
I would love to see fucking Bray Wyatt just start tacking on a couple of pay-per-view wins.
Well, listen, now maybe, and again, now we're being suckers. Maybe and now that he is finally split from the There Is No More Wyatt family, maybe he could get that strong push. Or a better push. He's only going to be mid-card.
I mean, I would love to see him as the Intercontinental Champion. I'd like to see him beat The Miz. I'd lose my fucking shit if Bray Wyatt pinned The Miz and won the Intercontinental title. I'd lose it.
Yeah, how great would it be him horrifying Maurice? Maurice being
scared.
Could
you imagine?
My
God. Bray Wyatt as the Intercontinental Champion would be fucking incredible.
Look, I'm saying leading up to that.
You give him the first bit of gold, and he tacks on some credible wins. Who knows? Down the fucking line, give him the belt. My favorite podcaster has said many times, Frank, the ultimate feud of the new era should be heel Roman Reigns versus anti-hero Bray Wyatt. Right. Why? Roman Reigns represents the establishment. Bray Wyatt represents anti-establishment.
Right. Well, if we were ever going to do fantasy booking, I posted that post a few weeks ago. The what if post. What if I borrowed that from Marvel Comics? What if, I don't know if you're familiar, Marvel Comics had a what if series.
I'm not familiar with that series, but I am familiar with Marvel Comics. I've been reading a lot of them lately, as well as, yes, I am promoting Marvel since I have started reading them. The Incredible Hulk, Planet Hulk, as well as World War Hulk. If anyone, go to your local comic book store. It is an incredible story. So go ahead, Frank. Please continue.
Oh, no. Well, Marvel always put out these comics. What if the Hulk went berserk? Or what if, I don't know, what if Captain America had died? Stuff like that. But my thing was, what if Roman Reigns had betrayed the Shield? Right? So how would history have changed? What if it was Roman that would have joined with the Authority? And I thought that should have been the storyline from the beginning. Because why? Because everybody knew, all the fans knew that Roman was the real golden boy. He was the real chosen one. He was the future, as seen by the Authority. And wouldn't have that fit much better?
That actually would have been perfect.
That would have got him over better, because people were expecting people knew, it was leaked already that Roman was the golden boy, the chosen one.
And I think that ended up doing more harm than good. They should have even. I think they shouldn't even have a golden boy.
I know, but I'm just saying, what if, going back to that, and it would have been better for Seth Rollins to have gotten the baby face push that Roman got. It would have worked better.
Absolutely, it would have worked better.
But to go back to your point of what would have been the greatest feud, what would have been the hot feud?
What would be a hot feud for the new era? It would be.
Well, I'm saying if they would have went with that Roman would have betrayed the Shield and he would have been with the Authority. They already had that with Bray Wyatt. They were already teasing that. But remember when Bray Wyatt, he kept saying, anybody but you, Roman, anybody but you. Remember that? He could how much better would that have worked if Roman was actually with the Authority?
That actually would have been excellent.
I know, but forget about it. But so the other guy that we should, the other guy I'm on the fence about is Baron Corbin, who's on SmackDown. I really can't. I don't. I look at him. I don't know. I can't. Usually, I could make my mind up about somebody. Listen. They have high praise him. I can't tell. If he's boring. I can't tell if he can wrestle. I don't. All I know is he's long. I like his look. He's got a scary look, but I don't know.
No, I like him. I think he's tailor-made to be a heel.
But
American Alpha.
That's who I do know about. And
my favorite tag team.
They are. Listen, did you hear the pop they got?
Just by mentioning them.
Listen. They could be that tag. They could be the next tag team
to take the world by storm.
To actually main event a pay-per-view.
Frank, don't give me hope because
When's the last time a tag team main evented a pay-per-view?
I can't think of one. Probably the Legion of Doom.
We'd have to go back probably
to the 80s.
To the 80s?
I think it was the Road Warriors.
Probably maybe the early 90s. Maybe a Demolition versus the Hart Foundation or something like that.
I would have no problem with the American Alpha main eventing a pay-per-view. They are a spectacular.
That's how high I am on them, and that's.
Would you wear one of their T-shirts?
Probably. I don't even know what they look like, but yeah, what does it have? Stars and Stripes on it.
Ready, Willing, and Gable.
Okay.
I love it. Dolph Ziggler, you want to talk about damaged?
Hold on, but I've told you about what's his name, Jason Jordan.
Yes,
that's the guy I always told you about. Keep an eye on him. Dolph Ziggler.
No, I'm just filling the viewers in, ladies and gentlemen. What Frank has this thing where when he sees somebody, and for
the first time,
he gravitates towards him. He did that with Randy Savage. He did that with CM Punk, and now Frank is calling
Kevin Owens too. I was at your house.
Same thing about Kevin Owens. He is now calling that with Jason Jordan. But I counter him and say, not only is Jason Jordan, a big deal, I think so is Chad Gable.
I think down the road, they are going to have a great feud.
Really?
Sure. They're going to have lights out matches down the road when they feud. When they split them up and they feud, that's going to happen.
No, of course. Everything splits up eventually.
Don't you think those would be good matches?
Absolutely, because they know each other so well.
Exactly, and if we know that, the people who
know it. And I'll tell you something else.
Because that's the MO. What?
Bruce seems to think that Chad Gable's going to get over like Daniel Bryan.
Yeah.
I mean, would you be against that? I wouldn't.
Who knows? Listen, let's hope. History tells you one of those two is going to go far, and the other one is going to get left back a few steps.
According to Nick Perkins, who is listening in, he said the last time a tag team was in the main event, it was Jericho versus DX for the tag titles at TLC 2009.
Oh, wow. So that's still 7 years ago.
Thank you very much, Mr. Perkins, for that bit of information.
Yes, he's on the beat. Listen, that's not like 7 months or a couple years ago. That's 7 years.
7 years ago.
That's almost a decade.
But I'll tell
anyway.
you what, if any tag team should be in the main event, I'd have no problem with Chad Gable and Jason Jordan. I'll tell you something else, ladies and gentlemen. WWE 2K17 is coming out this October. I have put the NXT edition on reserve. That NXT box has every single NXT star on the cover, and it comes with a Finn Balor statue. I cannot wait to play this game. Can't wait. It's going to be spectacular. Now that we've talked about American Alpha, in case you don't know, Frank and I are big American Alpha fans. Next is Dolph Ziggler. I can't think of another guy, aside from maybe a Cesaro or a Bray Wyatt, that the WWE has dropped the ball on so terribly. Because Dolph Ziggler, there was a time where Dolph Ziggler was one of the most popular guys that they had. And then they did nothing with him. I've never been able to decipher what the deal was with that. Was it because he speaks his mind? I mean, Shawn Michaels always used to speak his mind. No one seemed to have a problem with that except for maybe Brett. But, you know, I've never understood how they could drop the ball so hard with someone like they did with Bray Wyatt. I mean, I keep thinking of Bray because he's one of my favorites, and they just for whatever reason they don't see anything special in him because all he does is he cuts a scary promo, loses, and then he does it again with somebody else. Dolph Ziggler is a guy that they've totally fucked up, and I can't understand how they've managed to do that.
Yeah, he was a classic example of
sabotage.
Barry, yeah, and I told you I read that article where it's because
yeah, Frank, please fill in for the audience that article you were talking about earlier.
Oh, the article was that the reason why he never got a big push was because he's a womanizer. I mean, he gets a lot of girls. He dates a lot of women in WWE, and he's a partier or whatever.
Ric Flair, womanizer.
I know.
Undertaker, womanizer, Stone Cold.
If you want to be a conspiracy,
pill popper.
If you want to be,
different rules for different people.
If you want to be a conspiracy theorist, him and Cena share something in common.
Wouldn't surprise me in the least.
And didn't maybe if you actually trace it back, if you have enough time, does Dolph Ziggler's burial correlate with John Cena's dating the Bella?
That it does.
Nick Perkins, go ahead, go work on that. He's see if you can correlate when John Cena started banging.
Unfortunately, Dolph Ziggler, much like Cesaro and Bray Wyatt, are lost causes, which is a shame. Wasted talent. Alberto Del Rio, I was never a fan.
All right, let's just to save a lot of boring time. I don't see any. There's a couple names that maybe stick out of here. Apollo Crews, he's an NXT guy.
I'm a big fan of his.
I don't know if he's gonna have what.
You gotta stop smiling though.
Yeah, I know.
Please stop smiling, Apollo. We love you. Don't smile no more.
Mojo Rawley. I read
an NXT pick.
What's that?
What a waste of an NXT pick.
Really? Yeah, well, you know, not everybody could come up because then NXT won't have anybody. But Mojo, even going back to a couple years ago, he was supposed to. They had hopes for him of being a Cena-esque guy. They liked his look and the way he talked to the mic, and I guess, and then we have. The elephant in the room, the darkest of dark horses, Ava Marie.
I'm not talking about the women.
Listen, I don't really pay attention to women. Not because I don't like them, because WWE doesn't give them attention the way they should. Ava Marie, she could be something big if he's right. She's got heat. The woman draws heat. She's a heat conductor, man. I don't know. She could add something interesting. I could see her doing something interesting, but we'll see.
Board villains, I love them.
I like them too, but
they're a throwback tag team.
See the Vaudevillains? They're real heels. They are real heels. They're
classic heels.
Nobody likes them,
which is just fine. They're doing.
They are universally hated, which they're doing their job.
Yes, I'm in the minority. I love the Vaudevillains, and I'm also a fan of the Ascension. You want to talk about damaged?
Yeah,
fucked over.
They can't wrestle.
Doesn't matter. Neither could Demolition.
I know, but
neither could the Road Warriors.
I know, but
these guys in NXT did their jobs wonderfully well.
I know, but
the first day they come up to the main roster, what the fuck does the commentary do? They take a friggin' McMahon-sized.
No. It wasn't the commentary. It was the booking.
Stuck it up their ass.
No, it was the booking. Remember, they came out. The Ascension came out and said they would just.
Yeah, the booking and the commentary. The commentary didn't help.
Somebody hit.
More to hurt them.
Somebody didn't know that they got hit in the back of the head with a shovel.
And that's SmackDown.
And that's it. And we'll see this Sunday at BattleGround. We'll see. We're going to see how the chips fall.
I can tell you right now, the six-man tag is going to end one of two ways. Either Cena's going to pin one of the club, or the club's going to pin either Enzo or Cass.
Say that again?
Pinning Cena.
No. Well, Enzo will get the pin, of course. He'll get pinned. I think Enzo's going to get pinned. What do you think?
More than likely, you're right.
Or maybe Big Cass will pin somebody on the club because they want to push him. You know what? I changed my mind. I think Big Cass. I think the team of Cena, Enzo, and Cass are going to win. I think Big Cass will get the pin. And what about Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens? They're starting to really drop the ball with this feud. It's getting silly now.
What do you mean it's getting silly?
I don't know. It's just getting silly. They're not taking the feud serious.
I think your problem is that it's getting repetitive and you've had enough of the feud.
A few weeks ago, I liked that promo they cut where Owens was against the ropes. He was leaning back. Right? And did he say that what was it? He said that Zayn was wrong. It is personal. Right, when they were talking about being jealous of each other, I like that. But again, it's just like they give you a hint that they're gonna get serious with this feud, and they're gonna see what we talked about earlier in the show about how they used to on Raw. They used to give you these little storylines besides the top. That should be a thing on every show. Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens, not just fighting like with hockey fights and silly stuff.
But, I got no problem with the hockey fight stuff. I mean, I think
that's what it gets. It gets
because
silly.
Every time they start fighting, the crowd pops.
That's what gets silly. Yeah, I know, but that's going to get silly. Kevin Owens has to do something dastardly to Sami Zayn. I don't know what that is, but
maybe he'll powerbomb him on the friggin' apron again, and then powerbomb him in the ring.
Hurt him. Well, maybe why don't they do something personal? So you want to take it personal? Why don't they film something where Kevin Owens does something to Sami Zayn's family? Or something like that. See? They don't think.
No, they don't.
But no, they won't, because you know what? That'll get Kevin Owens over even more. No, it will. I told you that's why they don't film anything outside the arena and they don't do those promos because they are afraid.
Can you imagine Kevin Owens attacking Sami Zayn while he's at dinner with his family and he power bombs him through one of the tables
in front of his family and saying,
"Oh,
I told you." What if he would say, "I told you it's personal"? And is Sami Zayn married?
I think so.
Yeah. And what if since they are friends, they were at each other's weddings or whatever. They don't do that because it'll get them over, and God forbid it'll take the attention away from fuckboy and boring Reigns.
No.
Anyway, but
and then the main event, Ambrose ain't walking out with the belt.
No,
and that's a shame because I love him as WWE champion.
As Gorilla would say, highly unlikely. The odds are stacked, definitely stacked against Dean.
And this is the wrong pay-per-view for the freaking Shield three-way to happen at.
And you know what? And take a picture, because for the foreseeable future, it's going to be the only triple threat match. It might be one and done.
Which is a shame, because that match is so worthy of a main event of WrestleMania.
At least if Dean is going to lose, they should make this match should be a classic. They should have this. They should get 25 minutes. This match should get 25 minutes, and it should be a match of the year candidate.
Let me ask you this, Frank. What are you doing on Sunday?
Nothing. I can come over.
Come by and let's watch the train wreck together.
Okay, definitely.
There you go.
I think we said earlier. I think Darren Young is definitely going to take the title.
Absolutely, I think he's winning. I think if he wins, then Zack Ryder's going to win, because they're not going to have two mid-card titles on.
Ooh, I don't know. Zack Ryder.
If Darren wins the IC title, then Zack Ryder's winning the US title, because they're not going to have two mid-card titles on the same show. I can promise you that. Think about that.
Yeah.
And if Zack Ryder wins the U.S. title first,
Darren Young and Zack Ryder are both baby faces.
And then if Zack Ryder wins the U.S. title and Miz loses the IC title, Miz will win the U.S. title from Zack Ryder the next night, just like he did with WrestleMania.
Oh God, yeah. No, I don't think Zack Ryder's going to win. I don't think Zack Ryder.
And if he doesn't, then neither is Darren Young. And honestly, I would be fine with that, so long as Bray Wyatt takes the IC title off the Miz. Sign my fucking ass up and do it at SummerSlam. You know why you do it at SummerSlam? Because Bray Wyatt gets a huge title win on one of the Big Four shows. God for fucking bid, the guy actually wins at a Big Four show. Last year, he didn't win in any of them.
Keep dreaming.
He got eliminated in the Royal Rumble like he was a nothing. He got made to look like a bitch thanks to fucking Dwayne, because he had nothing better to do.
Forget it.
Please.
That horse is.
Now this is where I turn into Bruce, Frank.
Yes.
I am so sick and fucking tired of seeing these guys that are talented get fucking wasted. And I'm putting Reigns at the top of that list. That guy is fucking talented, and they're ruining him. They've done nothing but fucking ruin him since the Royal Rumble in 2015. You tell me, Frank. In your astute opinion, could you imagine if instead of him winning the Rumble and getting booed out of the fucking building, him and Cena eliminate each other, they fight at WrestleMania 31, and Reigns not only beats him, he kicks his ass? How over would Reigns have been?
Oh, yeah. But listen,
I'm just saying, how over do you think he would have been?
That makes too much sense.
His first major singles rivalry was with Cena.
That makes too much sense. But I think they're saving that one for down the road.
Well, it's a little too late to do that now, because neither one of those fuckers are over as a babyface is supposed to be. And for the record, ladies and gentlemen, I didn't say anything. I saved this for the end of the show. You heard the reaction Daniel Bryan got when he was announced as the GM of SmackDown. For the record, for those of you that are watching, that is how your babyface is supposed to be received. That unanimous love from the crowd. That is how your babyface is supposed to be received every single week without fail.
Only CM Punk and Daniel Bryan have had that in the last 10 years, if not more.
Think about that. Daniel Bryan and CM Punk are the only guys that got that on a consistent basis, but yet neither one of those guys was wanted for the top spot. Why? Because they're not big and muscular, and that's bullshit.
They're not in that slot. So to round this off, the New Day against the Wyatt family, I think that match is going to be a bomb. I don't know. I don't.
Maybe Frank and I could do a
live
show, maybe a 10-minute one after the pay-per-view, maybe just to give our thoughts.
We can do anything we want. We're the boss.
That's right. We're the bosses. Damn it.
But New Day versus Wyatt. I don't know. The Wyatt family split up.
You want to know something, Frank? It may turn out to be a good match.
Nah, I don't know. I have no. I don't think.
Whether you're going in with low expectation, because maybe they'll exceed them.
Listen,
I'm trying to be positive here.
You're trying to be positive. I'm trying to be real. In the pay-per-view, usually 2 or 3 matches get shine, and the 6-man tag, the triple threat,
there's 5 matches that have had some really good shine put on it. The 2 mid-card title matches, the title match.
But I'm saying the matches that are going to be allowed to give
a 3-hour fucking show.
New Day versus the Wyatt family might open up the show. It probably is going to open up the show, and that's another thing. That's why everybody loves the New Day. The New Day is a low card tag team. They're just hype. They usually always open up the show. Anyway, forget it. But other than that, we'll see the highlight reel with Randy Orton.
I hope. We'll see. Maybe Brock makes an appearance. Attack Orton.
No, I don't think so.
No.
I think he should have his papers ready for Suplex to go to Suplex City.
Well, that's going to do it for Frank and myself. We're happy to be back on. Hopefully, we'll be able to do a live episode after Battleground. I'm hoping Frank's actually going to be here for Battleground.
I'm coming.
I'm off on Sunday, Frank. Get your ass here early.
What time is it? 7:30, 8 o'clock? I'll be there.
7:30 is when it starts, but you need to come by because we got some comics we got to read.
Yes.
So, and maybe we'll watch a movie or something. Ladies and gentlemen, that's going to do it for Frank and myself. Very soon, we will be doing that episode on Gary Oldman. Very, very soon. But there's one movie that Frank wants me to see. Frank, will you tell the audience what that movie is?
Oh, come on. You have to watch State of Grace.
I've yet to see that movie. Frank,
no, come on. He plays the Irish gangster, Westy. The guy.
The part Gary Oldman can play.
No, listen. The guy he portrayed in that movie, the Irish gangsters, the Westies who saw that part, said they couldn't believe it. They actually thought that was him, like the real guy. No. They said that he did such a tremendous job. It was.
Gary Oldman can take, and this is how I'm going to leave it. Gary Oldman, in my astute opinion, can take any part given to him and make it work. His history shows it. Please tell me a movie that Gary Oldman played a part and he did not do a good or at least great job.
We'll save that for later.
We'll save that for that episode. But ladies and gentlemen, that's going to do it for Frank and myself. I hope you guys have a good week. Enjoy Battleground and take care, guys.